Hi guys,
Welcome back to our channel. I'm Elsie and this is
Tony.
today we're talking about a very interesting and controversial topic. We're talking about science, religion, what the parallels between these two and the contradictions between these two.
Sure.
Yes,
Well, it's a huge subject to try and cover in 10 minutes.
it is.
However, we're game. We're game. We're always our game. So we've picked one of the biggest issues which tends to divide people: the difference between the creation story and the evolution story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, evolution representing, if you like, the field of science as we
Yeah.
have it,
Yeah.
and creation story being promoted by people who have religion. And there seems to be a massive contradiction between them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a scientist by any stretch of imagination. So, but I do know something. I have never ever heard of, in any culture, in any field of science, in any field of anything, that you can have an effect without a cause. There needs to be something.
True.
And evolution, when you think of it, the very term means a process of development, of change, hopefully for the better, but nonetheless,
yeah.
it has some. So something has to be there to change, to evolve.
Exactly.
Now that's the bit. This is without promoting any particular brand of religion or denigrating any particular branch of science.
Yes.
Nothing comes from nothing, like it said in a famous song.
Yeah.
And if anyone believes that something comes from nothing without any agency, without any pre-existing force to make this happen, then they're no longer believing either in science or religion.
It's a magic.
You're believing in magic, yeah. Or you're being
Yeah.
very, very superstitious to believe in magic at that. We're not talking just about a conjurer's trick.
Yeah.
You're actually, this is crazy.
I mean, to be fair, if you pause right there, I think what you've said so far, without being either religious or scientist, is just logical. Like,
Mm.
well, if something is developing, obviously it has to be there
Yeah.
to develop. So, well, before it started developing, like if you take a butterfly, for instance, it's
Yeah.
like first a caterpillar. So if you saw a butterfly and then you said it like it evolved from something, which we all agree with,
Yeah.
but what did it evolve from? It evolved
Yeah.
from a caterpillar. Okay, fine. So where did the caterpillar
The caterpillar come from, yeah.
Right. So I think I read something really interesting from, I think, a book you gave me by Naomi Wolf, where I think she said that it's the greatest form of faith. Like, if you believe that everything just appeared out
Yeah.
of nowhere, you have more faith than any religious
Absolutely.
person.
I've complimented some of my atheistic friends on that,
Yeah.
and because they couldn't believe what I said. You've got more faith than me, and they said, I don't have any faith. You absolutely do,
Yeah.
because you believe that all this happened just from nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, so that is a great system of belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that whether, like, I think it's a totally different argument whether this God is true or this one is true or how it came
Oh, yeah.
about. But I think where we have to start from is, well, is there a creator? I've never been able to understand people who don't believe that there's a creator. Like, that would always blow my mind, that
Mm.
the evolutionist thing would always blow my mind. I cannot bring myself to understand how anyone. I think you used the bakery story. Like, if you went into a room and you saw bread, you would at least know. Like, even if you
Yeah,
couldn't see
yeah.
an
Whoever
oven,
made these was pretty
like, I know,
talented.
like,
It
you
smells
always
good.
say
Yeah.
that, like, even if there was no oven or just an empty room,
Yeah.
like, there's so many possibilities. Did the person bake it somewhere else and then
Yeah.
bring it into the room? There would never be an option of, oh, these cakes just
Assembled themselves
from nowhere.
from nothing, from nowhere, for no reason.
So,
That would
yeah.
be.
Yeah,
That's
it
real
is
faith.
very interesting, and not to debunk anyone's like train of thought or not to be respectful of anyone's views. So we actually are very interested in knowing why some people think evolutionism is a thing. Like, how do you believe that there's like things just started developing out of like no one created them and they just started, well, evolving?
Well, it's like in a different context, you hear people talking about something called settled. The science is settled. It's settled science. Of
Yeah.
course, evolution happens, and fair enough. There are various things that have been discovered in the fossil record and all the rest of it, which could indicate that this happened that way. But
Yeah.
it certainly doesn't show how things came into being, material being in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And of course, the religious stories, in one sense, don't help when you look at the details, whether it's the timelines and things like that. I'm not really, when I say I'm not bothered about those, I wouldn't get hung up on those. I wasn't there when the
Exactly.
first animals or whatever they were, life form was put on this earth. I definitely wasn't there. I'm
Yeah.
not in a position to give first-hand evidence,
Exactly.
despite my age. But no, and that's absolutely a fundamental thing, though, is coming back, like holding on to this point.
Yeah.
Nothing comes from nothing.
Mhm.
The things that maybe have evolved
Yeah.
have evolved from something.
Yes.
Now, whether it was in this kind of form or whether it was in a different kind of form, a different set of rules, the basic rule is there has to be something there.
Yeah.
This doesn't indicate that any one particular version of religion is right.
No.
Or they
We're
could-
not even getting
we're not
into
bothered. I mean,
that,
for
no.
example, all religions at this moment in time, for the sake of argument, all religions could
Yeah.
be wrong. They certainly can't all be right, by the way, because they contradict each other.
Yeah.
But they could all be wrong. We'll just accept that.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, the theory of evolution without an explanation
of
a
how,
dec-
at
of
least
how
the
thi-
first thing came
yeah,
to
supposing
being.
it was an atom or an amoeba or whatever it was, how
Where did
that
it
came
come
there from nothing.
Yeah.
We need to see that.
Exactly.
And
So this is actually a call to all atheists and non-believers, whatever your beliefs are. It would quite be interesting to know what your thoughts are on. And I know you say about the Christian stories and the Muslim stories and the whatever stories, how the
Yeah.
timelines don't match up and stuff like that, and it makes it more difficult for people to believe in these things.
sure.
So I do know that there are people who have made it their life's mission to study these things, and we would love to hear from you. Like,
Right.
what's the evidence that the Christian story is true, that Adam was born when he was born, or when Adam was created when he was created?
Mhm.
It will make it a little bit easier for atheists to believe
I'm
in
sure.
these stories. Also, on the atheist side, we would love to hear from you as to why you think that something came out of nothing, even though the very science that you believe in
Yeah, it tells
It's-
you there is no effect without a
yes.
cause. That's right. And never
Yeah.
has been.
never has been.
And I would dare to say, and never will be either.
No.
Because
No.
to believe that it may well be is like believing in future magic,
Yeah.
Or the technology will advance to the extent where we can create something out of nothing with no power, with no intelligence, for no reason.
Yeah.
No.
The more you think about this, the more mind blowing it is, because I'm just trying to remember that there are actually some, like, have you ever seen like artistic, like a drawing and stuff like that from ancient history where
Mm.
like they write author unknown or something like that?
Mm.
So obviously people know that someone wrote this thing or it was drawn by someone, they just
Mm.
don't know who did it. So if there's actually a possibility that things could just be created out of nothing.
Yeah.
If you found something on, like if you found a really beautiful drawing on the floor
Yeah.
and you didn't know who drew it, then it could just
Just happened.
happen.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have come to
It's
the end of
this. Yeah.
the program, and we hope you've enjoyed it, and we would really love to hear from you, because it is quite the interesting topic, and I know that on each side, whether it's the evolutionists or the religious people, there are people who have read and studied extensively. So we would love to hear from you. If you've watched to this point, I'm guessing you're enjoying the program, so kindly like, comment, subscribe,
And share.
and until next time, it's bye for
Bye
now.
for now.
If you like this video,
kindly like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find us on other social media platforms on Twitter at Talk with Tony and on Instagram at talkwithtony.live. Don't forget, live, laugh, and most importantly, love. Watch out for the next video. It's bye for now.